I'm Aiman. Welcome back to one of my gardening videos. Take a look at today's harvest. Not only do we have blackberries, but we have tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, and chili peppers. However, today's video is not going to be a usual garden tour where I talk about the different shrubs, vegetables, and plants that these fruits and vegetables come from. Today, this segment is going to be focused on my dad's favorite fruit, the blackberry. And here's today's harvest of blackberries. Right next to me, we have a blackberry bush. And actually, this used to have a ton of blackberries on it, at least yesterday. But now they don't because my dad ate them all. So for today, we only have these pickings. And behind me, you can see that it's a bit dull outside, and that's because it actually just rained. We were going to do this video yesterday, but we had some other videos to do, so we couldn't get to it until today. But for now, I'm Aiman, and today we're going to be talking about, in this segment, blackberries. So this harvest down here is actually from two other blackberry bushes, but we have even more shrubs. Over here, we have another shrub on the opposite side of the backyard, or I guess opposite, like mirrored side of the backyard. And over here, you can see that this has plentiful blackberries. Look at all these ripe ones on the bush already, and you can just pick them off the bush and eat them. I guess bombs away. And it tastes good. Of course, most of you know what blackberries taste like, and if you don't know, they're mostly tart, unlike other fruits which are more sweet. You know, my dad isn't the only one in our family who likes blackberries. I actually like blackberries very much. I'm a fan of pretty much all the berries. Whenever I go to shop, I get them. And sometimes when my brother also gets them, he stores them in the fridge. And then when he comes to the fridge to get them later, he always finds that they're empty because my dad eats them. But I gotta tell you, if you're not growing blackberries already, you should, because they're a very good investment. And in this video, I'll tell you why. Alright, so first off, as with all the videos that we do, where we showcase the plants, first we're going to talk about our backstory behind getting these blackberry bushes. So about 10 to 15 years ago, we were first starting out our garden. So while planting the garden, we weren't really sure what plants to prioritize and how many of each to get in order to plant them. And usually we got one or two of each plant. And that's what my dad did with blackberries. He got blackberries specifically because he liked them, but because they were expensive, they were about $10 at Lowe's, I think, he only got one of them. The thing is, he actually planted it all the way over there in that corner, where it wouldn't get that much sun, so it wouldn't grow as well. However, what my dad didn't realize is that as the blackberry shrubs keep growing, what happens is that these stalks, or canes, they can actually, as they keep growing, they're going to become heavier, and they're going to start touching the ground. And then as that happens, it starts growing a new blackberry shrub. So basically, once this becomes fat enough and the stalks come close enough to the ground, another blackberry shrub is going to pop up. So we started with one blackberry shrub, and I'm pretty sure this is the original one, after my dad moved it here so that I could get more sun. And after it got more sun, it started growing more and producing more berries. But another thing is that we also took some of the clippings and we placed it over there, and that's the blackberry bush that we have growing right now. And the sort of the plan is to keep growing these blackberry bushes so that my dad can continue to enjoy eating blackberries. And we're starting to grow some more over there, which we'll talk about later. But, alright, so I lost my train of thought. In the meanwhile, let's go over to our other set of blackberry bushes and see how they're doing. And they're not fully adult yet. I would be exaggerating to say that they're even teenage level. But over here we have our fledgling blackberry bushes. And another thing, and as you can see, they're growing quite well, and in a few years they should be able to start producing a lot of blackberries. And another thing is that in this pathway here, my dad has also started placing blackberry bushes. Alongside these grapevines, he's also wanted to make sort of a berry pathway, because if you guys don't know, this sort of pathway right here used to be a strawberry pathway. So instead of making it a red berry pathway, we're going to make it a black and a purple berry pathway for grapes and blackberries. If you're curious, you might see some plants that seem to be like knocked down, like these chilies over here, or these peppers over here. And the reason why is because we had a massive rainstorm or a windstorm, and that pretty much knocked down most of the shrubs and plants in our garden. And fortunately, that's the best example that I can think of. There's some trees that actually endured a lot of suffering, but that's a good example. Over here, we have an example of the blueberry bushes that the blackberry shrubs that we cultivated from last year's pickings. So what we did was, or what my dad did, I should say, is he took one of the stalks that was hanging down onto the ground, and he took one of the stalks that was hanging onto the ground, he took it away, and he actually just moved it to his container, because of course this wasn't its original spot. And as you can see, it's starting to already produce some berries. So if you have an already fully grown blackberry bush and you take one of its clippings and you move it, you can start producing berries within a year. Now over here, we have some more recent blackberry bushes, from this year. So what my dad did is there's a second method besides using the stalks that touch the ground, which start to develop roots. Instead of doing that method, what he did was he took clippings of the blackberry bushes and he actually just planted those. And as you can see, they're starting to grow pretty well. And this one's already almost hanging down to the ground. All right, so just to clarify, 2 methods. One of them is waiting for the cane to grow onto the ground, and it's gonna start developing roots. And the second method is to take a clipping of the blackberry bush and then just plant it in the ground and start growing it. Now my dad says that it's easiest to grow these in the spring or the fall. However, it's a bit harder to grow it in the summer because one thing, you need to keep the blackberry bushes watered because summer is going to start drying up all the soil. And another thing is that you want to make sure that it's not too hot for the blackberry bushes. So that's why it's a bit easier to cultivate them in spring or the fall. All right, so here we have a great showcase of actually what we've done with the clippings. We just planted them in pots, and we have tons of these pots that we hand out to friends and even our neighbor, and you just let them grow. And you can pretty much leave them by themselves. And I've actually heard stories of people that, especially in like the northwest of the United States, they are like infested with blackberry bushes because they're so easy to grow. Like I said, basically when one blackberry bush starts growing too much, it's gonna branch out to another part of the ground, and then it's gonna start growing more blackberry bushes. So you can see where this infestation of blackberries come from. And I guess maybe in the future our backyard will be infested completely with blackberry bushes, but we'll have to see. So the video quality is going to be deteriorating because, as you can see, it's getting a bit dark. So right now I'm just going to spew off a few facts about blackberries, but in the future we're probably going to do another video about them. So a few things is that blackberries are highly nutritious. They are high in vitamin C, K, and A. They have a lot of antioxidants, and finally they're good for fiber. So if you're looking for something easy to eat and to gain nutrition, blackberries, aside from other fruits, are your source. And I'd recommend blackberries personally because, like I said, they're very easy to cultivate, and I also think that they taste wonderful. So today we're going to end off the video right at this spot. And down here, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is today's harvest, and we got this harvest from my mom's garden behind me. And in my mom's garden, we've done many videos, including garden updates and specific sub-segments like this one on individual plants. So go check them out. But for now, I'm Aiman. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look at other videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the garden tour and the sub-segments on individual plants. I think already we've done cucumbers. I don't think we've done beans yet, but I'm pretty sure we've done peppers. So go check those out, and I'll see you there. But for now, these are mine. Sorry, Dad. And signing out. Peace.